First of all, I want to congratulate Brandon Allen on his first NFL start with a win. And Coach Allen and his family, I know they're extremely excited. We're very proud of him and excited for him. I appreciate our fans and the environment that they create. And they created Saturday. They're relentless and they're passionate, and their love for the Hogs is seen and felt. And I'm completely unacceptable and disappointing the performance from last Saturday. I, as well as our entire staff, take full responsibility for it. There was nothing through the course of the week that ever indicated a performance of that magnitude or lack thereof. But we did have a few young, bright spots that I was pleased to see after watching film. It was really good to see John Stephen Jones and KJ Jefferson get in and provide a spark for our offense, leading touchdown drives, both of them. We also had an opportunity for a lot of our young players to continue to gain valuable experience. We'll start John Stephen Jones this week. Excited for him. We will play KJ as well to continue to develop him. They will add to the list of the freshmen and sophomores that we've started this year. And I believe about half of our starters this season have been freshmen or sophomores, so they'll add to that list. It was impressive as I turned the film on to watch Scooter Harris play, and just his relentlessness and his ability to continue to sell out every play is very inspiring. And when you have your best players selling out like that, it allows me to use them as examples in team meetings on Sundays when these players come back in here on exactly what the standard is and what's accepted here and how we play. Scooter will be one of 17 seniors that will honor this Saturday, that they'll play their last game here in Fayetteville. And I know it'll be a very emotional day for those seniors. And so as we move into Western Kentucky, and a team that's 5-4. Obviously, we have followed Ty's story. We're excited for Ty. Ty has had a really good year and is playing really well. We're proud for him. He's tough. He's gritty. And they're top 25 in time of possession, so they do a great job of controlling the ball. Defensively, they give up less than 20 points a game. They're very sound in what they do defensively. They return 3 starters. They got the D'Angelo Malone is 9th in the country in sacks. And so we're going to have to play well. And we got to play to our standard. And that's the challenge right now. And that we've challenged these guys and this staff moving forward. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you for questions. Go ahead, Bob.
Chad, I mean, what all went into the decision to start John Stevens, and how do you think he'll play? How ready do you think he is for the opportunity?
Well, I think when you look at his prior performance when he stepped on the field the last 2 weeks, the moment has not been too big for him. I think he did a great job coming out and playing with grit and toughness and just providing a lift. And I think he'll play really well. I've watched him and from high school all the way into where he is now and just his development.
The situation with Ty Story, how did that go? Was that a mutual decision? Did he decide to step away? Did y'all move on? And is there any kind of advantage it gives you or him in playing him?
Well, I'm sure Ty is excited about coming back into his home state and playing. And, Ty and I met and with his family, and we did not want Ty to leave. But Ty wanted to go to a place that he wanted to go in and have an opportunity to be the starter and was going to look around and see what was best for him moving forward. And he wants to coach, and we've had a lot of talks on that, and we're just excited for Ty, and he's playing really well.
Knowing him though, any tendencies, does that give y'all any kind of edge?
At this stage right now where we're at, it's about us. It's about getting in there and playing to our standard.
Chad, I guess Did you meet with O'Grady yesterday, and just kind of what's the situation there?
Yeah, we met, as I shared, we met Sunday evening. We both mutually agreed that, what's best for CJ and what's best for this football program is for him to step away for the final 3 games and to help him perform and prepare for what's next in his life, and we're here to help him with that.
With the way quarterback has gone, how disappointed have you been with where things are now with the way Ben and Nick have played and now having to go with John Stephen and KJ?
Well, I'm excited about John Stephen and KJ. I think that those guys, I think you felt the lift on the sidelines. I know I did when they went in. And, I'm again with Ben and with Nick. They're 2 fine young men that love the game of football. And a lot of factors that have came into play that it wasn't just solely just those 2 guys or one guy, and I mean it just didn't work out. We couldn't get the consistency that we needed, but they were back in here yesterday and eager to help these young guys continue to grow and mature, and if their opportunity arises, they're going to be prepared to step in there if it comes to that.
Mentioned KJ. Do you have like a set plan when you want to put him in, or just kind of go by feel?
Well, I don't know. It'll probably be we'll probably have a plan in place for that for whenever we get a chance to get him in there, but it'll be soon. Give him a chance to get some valuable reps and experience.
You mentioned Western's time of possession. What is it that they do that allows them to keep the ball? Why are they a good offense?
Yeah, what they do, they Ty does a really good job of getting the ball underneath to receivers, and passes out in the flats. They do a good job mixing up the runs and the pass, but he gets the ball out of his hand. A lot of bubble screens and quick throws, and they keep the chains moving.
I had a couple personnel things. What's the update on Davion Warren and Grant Morgan with their injuries? And Trey looked like he really did a good job, or Traylon looked like he really did a good job on kickoff returns. Even if Davion's back, would you think about keeping Traylon on kickoff return?
We would, yes. Davion will be out this week. We hope to get him back after our open week, but we'll see on that. And Grant Morgan, he was back at practice last night.
And then we noticed, I guess, Ladarius Bishop started from McClellan, but then McClellan came in, I think, in the second half. Was that a disciplinary thing where he didn't start, or was that just, hey, let's give Ladarius a shot, or what was the deal with that?
It was giving Ladarius a shot, giving Day-Day a shot, and an opportunity to get out there and play and create some competition there.
So Austin Capps, has he been cleared?
Austin Capps we expect him to be back. He was in a green jersey last night, so we anticipate him being back.
Chad, what are you expecting from a crowd standpoint on Saturday? And does the prospect of John Stephen and KJ maybe be something that energizes the crowd to get them excited about where y'all are headed?
Well, I think so. I mean, when you look at it, I'm again, as I mentioned in my opening statement, Razorback fans, and I mean, they love the Hogs. It's evident. I anticipate the crowd. I know it's 11 o'clock kick, but I anticipate the crowd to be good. I know that to see these 2 young guys play, and with John Stephen and with all the young guys that played last week. I think we played 21 last week, somewhere in there.
Hey, with O'Grady, I mean, he's obviously a talent. The few times we talked to him, he was always, thoughtful, polite. He seemed like he had a lot of things going for him, but, Brett had issues with him. You guys obviously had issues with him. Is it just disappointing that a guy who has that much going for him, immature, whatever, is that you just can't get through to him? How frustrating is it?
Well, we just, first of all, we met last night, and we want to wish CJ the best. And we're here to help him get to where he wanted to get to at the next step. And so, we want to wish him the best right now.
Coach, with the way the last 3 games have gone and this last one, you'd obviously like to see the team being more competitive here the second part of the season, but what are the reasons that you could give for the fans that this thing is headed in the right direction and not kind of falling apart here at the end?
Well, you're asking for what
what could you say to the fans that would
Encourage them what's ahead.
instill some?
Yeah, what's ahead. I think as you look at the, when you consider and you look at the entire season and the layout of the season, when over half your starters or right around half your starters have been freshmen, true freshmen or sophomores, there are as I mentioned earlier, when you play young guys, you're going to have some growing pains. You're going to have some tough times, and we're going through a few of those, but that's no excuse in where we're at right now. But it is, there are guys that are playing at a very high level. I don't know, and I mentioned Scooter Harris, but Traylon Burks is playing at an incredibly high level. I used him as an example in front of the team last night as well, and that's a true freshman. And so, when your best players are playing at a high level, you can point that out real quick and to get the other guys up. So I think that with the amount of young players that have been playing, there's no one more disappointed in the performance of Saturday than our players and our staff. And so that's we're back on the field last night, and so it was back to work at it.
I was wondering about a couple of your other younger guys like Brady Latham and Jalen Catalon. Do you have any regrets with how you maybe handled their playing time, their 4 games? They played a couple of kneel-down snaps in a couple of games, and Catalon had a special team snap in one of his others. Do you have any regrets with how you've handled that?
Jalen's actually going to play this week. He's got a game left, and so we're excited about Jalen. Brady Latham, I think, got some substantial reps last week. Obviously with the injuries and our offensive line, we've kind of had to bring him along, and we're trying to hold him as much as we can. So that's where we're at.
I know Hudson Henry played. It's 5. I'm not sure how many true freshmen played for the first time. I think Jefferson. Just how do you think those guys did? The guys who got in for the first time.
I think we had six true freshmen that played that have not played in a game Saturday. I think Hudson played somewhere around 18 to 20 snaps. Did some really good things. Was very excited to get out there, and it was good to see him. Had a couple of passes called to him that we were trying to get the ball in his hands, and he definitely did some good things, and obviously he'll play this week as well.
Chad, you mentioned the excitement in the air when KJ came in. I think John Stephen too. What about the team? What have you sensed? What's the feedback you get from the players about what those guys can offer you, and why were they successful on offense?
Well, I think that when you add the quarterback run game to the dimension of an offense, to our offense and what we've been, it's it adds a new dimension. It adds a new gap. As quarterbacks create the extra with being a runner, they create an extra gap. And so I think that's some of the reasons why we had some success with it. And I think the ability of these guys understanding they want the ball in their hands. I thought from a team standpoint, even from last night, the guys were back in here. Again, as I mentioned earlier, they were disappointed, as we all were. But there was when we got out on the field yesterday or last night, guys were bouncing around and ready to improve and get better, and knowing with John Stephen and KJ, I think they're excited to watch these young men and help them out.
So you had announced it before y'all went to practice yesterday?
They got all the reps yesterday in practice.
Just wonder if Tyson Helton at all, the Western coach.
I think I've met Coach a few times. He's been very well respected every encounter that I've had with him, and people that I know that know of him. And but as far as just a mutual friend, I don't know him that well.
Do you consider this like a must-win for you? I mean, how would you characterize what Saturday is?
Well, I think so. I think each game is a must-win, and I think it has been a must-win. And we're going to for every game going into being we always go into every game with a must-win attitude, and this is no different. Our approach this week is to go in and put a plan together that our players can execute, and in front of our crowd and senior day and perform at our standard, which is best.
Any more questions, Coach Morris? Last one, Bob.
Speaking of the seniors, those guys have obviously been through a lot, coaching change, a lot of tough games. Just kind of what's your thoughts on the senior class?
Well, I think that they're very gritty. I think that they've been tough. They've had a lot to overcome. A lot of change has happened in their tenure here. And as I mentioned earlier, when you can set examples and show seniors that have gone through all the trials and hardships and the struggles through the course of a season, and to play at the level that Scooter Harris and you see Sosa that play at are very, it's inspiring to see, because these guys, they have a genuine love for this university, and they want to leave their legacy.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.